Live from the broadcast center in Los Angeles, this is KCAL 9 News at 8.
Now on KCAL 9 News and streaming live on CBSN Los Angeles, anticipated raids and roundups of undocumented immigrants.
We have team coverage of tonight's big story.
I'm Leslie Marin with ICE raids happening across the country. Tonight we are seeing some protests and we're hearing from the Customs and Border Protection Commissioner.
I'm Greg Mills in Lincoln Heights. A church? Yes. Sanctuary? That too. As are a number of churches in LA. That story coming up.
And good Sunday evening, everyone. I'm Chris Holmstrom.
Hello, I'm Sarah Donchi. We will have the latest on the ICE raids in just a moment, but first, we want to get to some breaking news right now. Police are investigating the death of an older woman. Her body was discovered on Fair Oaks Avenue and Alessandro Place in the city of Pasadena. KCAL 9's Lori Perez live in Pasadena with the latest on this investigation into exactly what happened. Lori?
Yeah, a lot of questions at this point. Pasadena police have blocked off a really large section of area around 50 Alessandro Place. That's the brick building across the street from me. That's a medical offices building with attached parking. We're told the body was found on the ground floor parking lot in the back of the building. You might be able to see that blue tent. That's where the investigation is centered. Police were called here at 2:55 this afternoon. They say on reports of a woman in the lot. Officers say they found a 69-year-old white woman unresponsive. She was pronounced dead on the scene. They say it appears her body had been here for at least several hours. And police will say there's some indication she might have been the victim of an assault. There was some bruising on the body, and they do consider it suspicious, but they aren't ruling anything out, including the possibility this was a medical episode that led to her death. Now, this is a block of mostly office buildings, medical office buildings. Most appear to have been closed off today, if not also yesterday. So perhaps not a lot of street traffic. Police say they'll now turn to security cameras to see if they can help trace her steps.
Hopefully we can locate cameras within a path that she traveled, may have traveled, who she may have been accompanied with, or was she alone. That sort of thing is what still needs to be looked into.
Now, they will say that she does not appear to be a homeless person. There were some belongings that were found beside her body. They're waiting for the coroner to arrive before they can go through all of that. We're live in Pasadena tonight. I'm Lori Perez. Back to you.
Okay, Lori, thank you. We also have some breaking news out of South Los Angeles. Sky 9 live right now. Take a look at this. It's a car that crashed into a wall after being involved in a police pursuit on Slauson and Broadway. But we know 4 people were taken to the hospital with unknown injuries, and we're trying to determine if the injuries were to people in the car or perhaps innocent bystanders. Once we get more information, we'll bring that right to you. Well, now another big story we're watching tonight. ICE raids on undocumented immigrants expected any time from coast to coast.
LA is just one of at least 9 cities in which federal agents are expected to arrest thousands of immigrant families. The government says they're targeting people who have missed a court appearance or who have been issued court-ordered removals from the country.
And we have KCAL 9 team coverage tonight. Greg Mills is in Lincoln Heights, but we start with KCAL 9's Leslie Marin with what's happening now.
As of right now, we have not heard of any reports of arrests here in the Los Angeles area by ICE agents. But as these raids continue today, people took to the streets to protest. And now we are hearing from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner.
ICE out! Stop the deportations!
From the streets of New York
Being brown is not a crime!
to right here in Long Beach, protesters took to the streets calling on immigration and custom enforcement agents to stop federal roundups of undocumented immigrants.
My brother was taken before too by detention centers. We didn't know about his whereabouts for months.
Today's immigration sweep was planned to begin Sunday in 10 different cities, including Los Angeles. The operation was expected to target 2,000 undocumented immigrants who had court order removals. But many people worried about collateral deportations, where agents could detain undocumented immigrants even if they were not intended targets.
I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, liberal, or conservative. No one wants to see children ripped away from their parents. Parents ripped away from their children. And that ought to stop right now.
On Face the Nation, Acting Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection Mark Morgan stressed the raids are not intended to target families.
If they run across a mother who came here illegally, had due process, had to order removal, but she's currently in her 3rd trimester of pregnancy, Of course, they're not going to apprehend that individual.
Despite few arrests being reported by Sunday night, Associate Director at UCLA's Center for Health Policy Research says the raids will continue to instill fear in undocumented families.
There are hundreds of thousands of people deported every year. So it is a constant in the lives of people in immigrant communities. But what it does do is continue the level of uncertainty and fear in immigrant communities that's been building over the last couple of years.
LAPD, LA Sheriff's Department, and Mayor Eric Garcetti have all said they will not help ICE agents in these raids. Leslie Madine, KCAL 9 News.
And several churches across Southern California are offering a place of refuge from these raids. CBS 2's Greg Mills continues our team coverage from North Hills.
This is one church that is offering sanctuary, but so far, nobody's taken them up on it. We did find a church in the valley where someone is seeking sanctuary. This North Hills church is this man's home and hideaway for a few days at least. He was staying with an LA family until they got a visit like this last week. He has no idea why ICE was there, but was scared he'd be taken into custody, so he took off.
I'm in legal status now because my visa expired. But the thing is, they can get me too.
He came from Mexico 10 years ago. Based on what President Trump says, this man most likely would not be targeted in the planned ICE raids.
They're going to take criminals out, put them in prison, or put them in prison in the countries they came from.
The administration lies. And they are not doing that. They go after anybody that they can get.
If he's correct, maybe this man was smart to seek sanctuary in this church.
Now is a very hard time for immigrants right now with this administration. Yeah.
This church in Lincoln Heights is offering sanctuary for anyone in imminent danger of being rounded up and deported.
The very least we should do as a people is offer them hospitality.
If he isn't around, his number is posted outside the church. He sees offering help as the Christian thing to do.
It's important that we provide safety from the political threat that they're facing.
The pastors at both sanctuary churches we went to used the word terrorism in describing the president's orders.
He's terrorizing the people who are undocumented.
Father Tom Carey said his understanding is ICE considers churches, schools, and hospitals as sensitive zones, places where this will not happen.
Please open the door.
Places of sanctuary where ICE won't pursue anyone in the U.S. illegally.
They can violate it anytime they want, but I would hope that they would not.
Father Tom makes it very clear at his church he wants to help out, but sanctuary is only for those who are in imminent danger of being arrested and deported. In Lincoln Heights, Greg Mills, KCAL 9 News.
You can count on KCAL 9 News, KCAL9.com, and CBSN Los Angeles for continuing coverage of these planned raids. We'll have the latest developments as they happen on air and online on your streaming device.
New accusations of racism against President Trump. This after the president's latest comments about a group of Democratic congresswomen. While the president implied these four lawmakers were not born in the U.S., the president's attack on the U.S. congresswomen came after they publicly criticized his immigration policies. Well, the president posted a series of tweets. In one of those messages, Trump suggested the congresswomen return to their native countries. Well, three of the four congresswomen mentioned were born here in the United States. All four of them are U.S. citizens. Tonight, California Senator and presidential candidate Kamala Harris is weighing in on the tweets.
It is absolutely racist and un-American. And it is an old trope, go back to where you came from, that, you know, you might hear it on the street, but you should never hear that from the President of the United States.
Senator Harris went on to say President Trump does not understand his responsibilities and what the American people want from a leader. And Democratic presidential candidate Marianne Williamson is paying the Southland a visit tomorrow. She'll host a town hall in Beverly Hills. That's tomorrow at 7:30.
We do have some breaking news from Ventura County. A brush fire is burning in the mountains above Fillmore and Santa Paula. Take a look at this video. Crews have been battling it from the ground and the air. The Ventura County Fire Department says no homes are threatened because flames are moving away from neighborhoods. Certainly good news there. So far, though, that brush fire has now burned 120 acres. All these hot, dry conditions are really fueling the fire threat. Looking live at downtown LA and Malibu. The big question is, Amber, I know it's the middle of summer, so we shouldn't necessarily expect it, but there is some kind of relief in the forecast, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we're actually looking at More of the hot weather staying with us as we head into the beginning of this week. But you can see today our temperatures once again topped out triple digits, especially inland. San Jacinto coming in at 104, Palmdale, Lancaster 103, San Bernardino 102, Riverside and Woodland Hills at 101. So today for downtown LA, we actually topped out a little bit cooler than normal, but again, a lot of our inland locations stayed well above average, so it was rather hot as you went over toward areas like our desert communities and the Inland Empire. But as you got closer to the coast, we had a little bit of that sea breeze, so that kept things slightly cooler. So our heat advisory has expired for LA and Ventura County. We're looking at this heat advisory being extended for another day for the Inland Empire, and that means we're going to continue to see those very hot conditions again as we head into tomorrow afternoon. We do have that excessive heat warning also in play for the Palm Springs area, so that means another day of temperatures anywhere from 105 to 115. But how long will all of this stick around? Well, I'll have more details on that coming up a little bit later, and also let you know what we can expect as we head into the rest of the week. Back to you guys.
All right, Amber, we'll see you then. The prime suspect in the killing of a young woman from El Segundo will be arraigned tomorrow. Police say Ayula Ajayi killed Mackenzie Lewick, then burned her body in his backyard. Lewick was a pre-nursing student at the University of Utah. She was last seen on June 17th. That's when she flew to Salt Lake City Airport, then took a lift to a park where she met up with her alleged killer. All right, so it is weakening, but it is still a big threat.
Straight ahead on KCAL 9 News and CBSN Los Angeles, the lingering impacts from now Tropical Depression Barry. And the lights are back on in New York City, but the city wants to know why the power failed and what's being done to keep it from happening again.
And tomorrow, a big day for CBS News. Nora O'Donnell takes over the anchor desk at CBS Evening News. What she told our Pat Harvey and Jeff Michael during a sit-down interview. Stay with us, everyone.